Life told me, listen, no matter how high you are, how low you are, it can everything change in an instant. Very difficult and dark moments over there. 2-3 months. It was a lot to deal with. It was very big, especially here in Greece. And I think besides like the very negative things that left behind this history, I think I gained a lot.
If you could say one thing to the Dinos of this period, what would you say?
There is light in the end of the tunnel, and don't worry. Like, trust the process. It will happen. Your moment will come.
Dinos Mitoglou. There it is, way behind the three-point line. Dinos Mitoglou on the slam. Dinos Mitoglou.
When I came back from Berlin, this massive green sea with flame, I was lighting the tunnel.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What did you feel during the celebration? Coming back to your people with the EuroLeague title?
I've never saw this in my life. That's what it hit me really hard. In the beginning, I wasn't even realizing it. Man, people were crying to me, and they told me, Dinos, do you realize what you have done? He says, you won the EuroLeague, my friend.
Dinos, welcome on the podcast. Hope you're doing good.
Everything is well, thank you.
We're going to start with some rapid fire question. You just choose your favorite answer.
Just straight to the fire, huh?
Let's go.
Exactly.
Okay.
First one, Olympiacos or Panathinaikos?
Panathinaikos.
Athens or Milan?
Athens.
Vacation or workout?
Workout. A lot of people though will say for workout or I think it's a way of life that we are, every athlete. That's why my answer is this. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Interesting.
vacation we have so little. Yeah.
Do you enjoy
I will tell you after I retire. Yet I don't know. So.
Do you enjoy like a lot of players do, mixing this kind of workouts and vacation?
No, but I understand them completely. A lot of guys they want to get their mind off a little bit, few days, 2-3 days, as long as. But now with the new schedule, we don't have a lot of days off. But a lot of guys want to travel, want to do something with their families, do anything, go eat out in a restaurant in another country, for example, or visit something. But for me personally, I just like, go for with my friends in my city, be close to the gym, not spend a lot of energy. That's why I said workout during season, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you the last one because it seemed like you were
Tell me.
undecided.
Yes.
Papapetro or Slukas?
Papapetro Slukas.
I had this tip from someone in this
This might
room.
be the most difficult question. I'll say Papapetro.
Okay.
Why?
Because we are many years teammates together. I think this year is our 5th year. Many years in the national team. Although Slukas was my first roommate with the national team, but I have spent more memories and times in the locker room and more conversation with Papapetro.
Okay.
So that's why I chose him.
Dinos, you actually have a very different playing style
Yes.
than a lot of other players in your position in the EuroLeague. Actually, Alex, I think he's told you before the podcast, you were his favorite player to watch.
Yeah,
Thank you, Alex.
really inspiring.
So, we wanted to ask you the first question. What separates you from the other players?
Wow. I think the way I approach the game, it's I'm a little more old school also. My habits are more old school, and it starts from the beginning and from the small things that we do, I think, and the way you approach the game. And I think also when I practice, I'm just focused. I'm not laughing a lot. When I step on the court, I'm not laughing a lot. I am more serious, and also that's what I represent in my life too. I'm trying to be a serious guy. Besides, though, of course, everybody have their moments with their teammates and everything that we laugh. This is human, but I think besides this, I'm a guy on the court who try to think more, who to think every possibility, to try to use every possibility on offense and defense. I'm not saying I'm the most athletic guy ever, that I'm not. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. But I also try to work a lot of my shots. I try to work more now. I'll tell you something, the more you get older, the more you realize you need to work your strengths more than your weaknesses. Of course, work your weaknesses, but focus on what you're good at.
It's interesting. So you're an old school type of player.
Yes.
You played at Wake Forest.
Yes.
Who does that remind you of? A guy that plays old school, center that played in Wake Forest.
Danny Manning, my coach, you mean?
You got to think about Tim Duncan, right?
Terrible answer. Yes, because I went. I'm like, oh, my coach. My coach was kind of, Danny Manning, Tim Duncan before Tim Duncan. But
Were you inspired by Tim Duncan maybe like growing up?
no, actually, we played pickup with Tim Duncan.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
How was that?
My second year, he came with his knee pads and everything. He was stretching for 30 minutes. I'm like, how is he was 39. 1 year later, I think he retired. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with the years though. But we played pickup. He made like 10 out of 10 bank shots from the low post. From the 45, just face up. 10 out of 10.
Crazy, man.
Assists. I'm like, he's too good. Like he was Jokic. Like how is Jokic right now? He makes everybody look like low IQ. You don't know where you are.
You as well? You
I
too?
didn't guard him. I was in the same.
Okay.
We played 2 games. One in the same team. One in the opposite team.
I would have so tried to guard him.
But
the whole
I was
game.
guarding. I was guarding the other 4 guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris Paul, Tim Duncan, and some other friends of theirs.
Oh my
They
God.
beat us like
What a cool piece of
easily.
Christ.
They beat us. Like Wake Forest normal team, first team. Crazy, crazy. They had like CP in the point guard, and Tim Duncan he was playing the 5 because there was no
That's
bigger guy.
crazy, man.
Insane, man. Crazy experience.
If not Tim Duncan, who is the one player that you try to model your game of?
Tim Duncan, man. Wow. I try not to exaggerating it or be too dramatic about it. When I was younger, because of my high release
I
and
know who.
everything.
I know who
yeah.
also.
You know who?
Yeah, Dirk.
Derek. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, no, one journalist when we were playing younger national teams, he used to call me Greek Nowitzki.
Nice.
Yes. I think it was cute or nice back in the days. And when you're young, 18, 19, you're like, oh, big words. But I think I'm trying to create something my own.
Nice.
I don't want anybody to be like, and I think this is very bad for younger players too. They should be their own versions. They should work hard, enjoy the game, and be their own versions. Work hard for what they can do and their weaknesses, and that's it. I think this is what's missing about basketball, and that's what the joy keeps disappearing slowly.
I would like to come back on your last season. Obviously, champ. Congratulations for this.
Thank you.
Thank you. You had this, in our opinion, very stacked team. A lot of stars, or at least who said this yesterday? Matthias. Matthias said that a lot of players that became stars during the season. You won the EuroLeague. You had an excellent season, actually. Do you had this feeling that the players that came to the team that are also considered as stars were too much for the roster? Because often when you have this winning team, you try to keep the same team, right?
Run it back,
Do you have this feeling of why to add so many elements even though we won the EuroLeague?
I think I will start because I will start piece by piece. I'll say that there are too many games. So good teams require good players so they can add. So good teams need depth, I think, to their roster so they can be strong. As you see this year, unfortunate things happen, like injuries are in the game, are part of the game. So you have to have backup plans, and a lot of times that's why we want them to come in our roster. That's what I think, and that's what I would do if I was a member of a team. And also, what I have to say, I agree with what Matthias said. It's incredible. And I think since day one, President came back, President, coach, coaching staff, players, fans, front office, everybody from the whole organization of Panathinaikos, they became one. They became like a family, and I think this, what united us, really expanded us. And I think we create something unique. Still, we have plenty of room to go. I believe it because I'm in the team many years. And, we enjoy. We're a couple of great guys in the locker room. We enjoy what we have. Panathinaikos is a great brand, great project, and I think everybody can have the opportunity to show what they're worth. as players. And I think also it's, we can definitely achieve our goals, and always the top is in our goals.
But you know, often in teams with a lot of talent, individual talent, you know, sometimes it explodes, right?
Of course.
Is there for you in this situation such thing as internal competition that becomes unhealthy sometimes?
Yeah. I understand completely what you're saying. No, we don't have this. We don't have this because we have such good guys in the locker room. We have, also obviously personalities like Slu, Kay, Grant.
It looks like everything clicks together between you.
You mention names. When you mention names, you know automatically what kind of guys they are. They're amazing guys. Obviously, the competition, what you mentioned, it's the good competition. It's not the bad competition where, for example, I'm not playing, I'm going to throw an elbow on you. No, this is not happening. We play hard, we're competing. Coach makes sure that whenever like one team loses, we run back and forth.
Still.
That hurts your ego, of course. Still.
Okay.
That doesn't change.
Pap told us yesterday that you guys have stats during practice.
Yes, we do.
That's crazy.
We do. The Cenk, the assistant coach,
crazy,
counts
man.
everything that you
That's
do.
so
And you know
crazy.
what the funny thing is? Whenever, for example, I take one rebound and I do assist to Cenk, right the assist and the rebound, yeah.
I feel like Coach Ataman likes to keep this mental edge over the players, right?
Yes, I mean, Coach, I think,
That's a lot to say, man.
besides he's a great coach, the psychology part and the mental part, he knows how to play and how to manipulate and to take whatever he wants from you. I think he's the best in Europe, and that's why he has won so many titles. So, besides jokes aside, I think in this and manipulating and taking care the character of you, he's amazing.
But it's very interesting what you're saying coming from you, because last year, on an individually perspective, you had way bigger numbers than this year. Obviously, we all know that basketball is not a game about numbers, but still, you having this perspective, knowing that numbers-wise, you have a half good season as last year.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you having this mentality?
I think you cannot be in a big team if you don't have this mentality. Your goal has to be, whenever I step in, I do whatever to help my team win. Some guys, I understand them completely. They don't like this. They want to be the protagonists. But I think you need to make a lot of sacrifices as a player, and as your ego. There are a lot of things, for example, a normal viewer don't know, because for example, he hasn't played basketball. He does another profession, but he doesn't know making sacrifices for your team to win. This is the most important thing, and I think when your team wins, the other things come.
It's interesting now because we usually ask this to players, but I feel like this answer is going to be interesting. We saw a podcast of NBA players talking about, would you rather choose a Supermax contract or a championship? Surprisingly, they all said, I want the Supermax.
Surprisingly or not, we respect, of course, them saying,
Of course.
What would you choose?
Depends on what situation I am. If I am 22 years old, 21 years old, and they offer me a Supermax contract. I've never been to the NBA. I don't know how they're thinking or what they are doing over there. If I'm 22 is too young. 23, 24, and they offer me Supermax, I will tell you Supermax. But if I am for example, Paul George or someone else or Chris Paul, that they have all this money, they have win so much stuff in their career, and they offer me Supermax rather than an NBA trophy, I will choose the NBA trophy. Depends, I think, your situations, as it is everywhere in life. I think you balance whatever you have or not, and you choose, of course.
I would
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't, exactly.
After 100 million, you're set up for life.
It's
and not even you,
generations
your
after
kids and
you,
your grandkids, so you're fine.
I think it's very true what you say. It really depends on the situation, and really depends on
Exactly. If you ask a 24 or 25-year-old kid to offer you the Supermax, I would say I want the Supermax. But if you ask Chris Paul, what do you think Chris Paul gonna tell you?
Coming back to Panathinaikos, this is the first club that you signed for after Wake Forest. You played, other than Milan, only for this team. Being a Greek player, what does this mean, winning for your Panathinaikos team?
when you're a Greek player and you win a EuroLeague champion, that's what you're saying. It hits different. It hits different because how to explain? For some people I understand and not, Greeks understand a little bit more the philosophy and the history of Panathinaikos, the rivalry they have with Olympiacos and everything, and the whole story. But I think when I came back from Berlin and I saw this massive green sea
Parade
with
was
flames.
This bus thing with Lesor on the bike and everything.
Man,
was
Matthias
crazy.
was. Matthias
You
was.
didn't hop on the bike too?
Yes. Oh, he hopped on. He left
What
the
about
bus.
you?
He left the bus.
You too?
You didn't want to do it?
I was lighting the.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What did you feel during the celebration? Like coming back to your people with the EuroLeague title?
Man, people were crying to me. I was going after back home. Imagine, not Athens, Thessaloniki, where I'm from, and there was a 45-year-old guy, and he came and kissed my hands. Yes. And,
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
How do you feel about this? Do you believe that sometimes it's too much? I'm just a basketball player, or you understand also their way of thinking?
I think for a lot of people, especially in the countries that sports are really high, and in basketball, some people reality hit them too hard, and they're too fanatic and they're getting too much with their teams. They're getting too much with their teams, so they really depend their mood, what their team will do. And I think it's a way of life. So they told me we won. You made that 3 and I saw him getting a little cry eyes, he was almost crying, and I'm like, oh, it's crazy. I've never saw this in my life. That's what it hit me really hard. In the beginning, I wasn't even realizing it, because when you make that big success, you don't realize it. It comes after a few days.
The impact it has on the people.
Yes, yeah. And then I was going with my family and my friends out to eat, and they told me, Dinos, do you realize what you have done? I'm like, no. What have I done? He says, you won the EuroLeague, my friend. I'm
for Panathinaikos.
For Panathinaikos, after everybody was coming and they say Panathinaikos hasn't been in the Final Four for 13 years. What a big success for the club. And you see all this effort from president, from fans, from the people behind the scenes in Panathinaikos that work, countless hours, paid off. That's what matters.
Your tie is so strong with Panathinaikos. Why did you decide to go to Milan then?
Yeah. Coach Messina called me, and we had a great conversation. And we talked for 10, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. He really surprised me. He convinced me to go there. And, he had a plan for me. He explained to me how things will go. He made it exactly sounded exactly, and he made it like this. So he convinced me to go over there. He was clearly the reason that I went there.
What did he say in this 15 minutes?
He impressed me with his professionalism, and he made a lot of background questions. He made questions for my personal life. I mean, he cared a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And then he told me I like you as a player. I'm gonna use you like this. I'm not gonna use you like that. I think you have great potential. We're gonna have this player for you there, and general how he gonna use me. And I think it was very helpful and great. I would describe Coach Messina very perfectionist. He wants great coach, knows the game, and I enjoyed to play with him. I have no problem with him. He was very strict, and he expected a lot of things from me. So yeah, I had a very good cooperation with him, depending on what happened. And mostly I would describe him, if you say one word for Coach Messina, it's perfection. It's he wants everything to be perfect.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Was it one time too much perfectionism?
Yes. That's what I think everybody a little bit say, because he wants to be everything too perfect. You cannot, you will do mistakes, you will do everything in the game. So The game is not perfect. So the player will do mistakes, will miss shots, will do he will have 1-2 seconds away for a little bit. It's normal in the game. So Coach Messina wanted to be 100% focused on the game. A lot of times that doesn't happen. We're humans. So, yeah.
Talking about your time in Milan, unfortunately you got tarnished with a bad scandal.
Yep.
Was this the hardest challenge of your career?
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guide us through like what happened at the time?
Yeah. It was. I got an email from FIBA that I cannot no longer play or come to contact with my teammates and my coaches and everybody. So until everything will be settled in. So I had to get a lawyer and everything. The saddest thing over there was I didn't have the chance to say goodbye to everybody or say nothing because I was not formally, I couldn't do anything basically.
Seriously?
Yeah, that saddens me, and that's not what type of person I am. Yeah, after I left Milan, I had to get a lawyer to get things clear up. The team obviously cut me. And yeah, we never spoke or had any communication since that with the team or with the staff and my ex teammates. And what was your question?
No, like if it was your hardest challenge of your career.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. By far the toughest challenge.
Because we spoke to your teammates, Papa Petru, when he was put on the side of the team this year with Panathinaikos. He said that just 6 days mentally was horrible for him mentally. Then, Lusor with the injury, he couldn't even see you guys. Yeah. Like, we really feel that being forced to be put away of your teammates, you guys, it's really a struggle, right? And once again, mental health is something not discussed enough. And I'm sure that you as a human being, you were heavily impacted by, even the public media, it was hard. It was a lot to deal with.
It was a lot to deal with. It was very big, especially here in Greece, of course in Italy too. Very difficult and dark moments over there. 2-3 months. I was very lucky. I had my friends, my brother, my family, my trainer, and my coach over there. Because over there you had to work specifically individual. You cannot do nothing else with public and work out in groups. There are very specific rules and adjustments you have to follow. But if I didn't have like a small circle that I trust, and I think besides like the very negative things that left behind this history, I think I gained a lot also. It was very good for me too because from that situation, I realized who I can trust. It really started me from the 0 point in my personal life. I think I wouldn't be able to do this if I wouldn't have that moment. But now I'm stepping good on my toes, my feet, and I know who I can trust and who I have on my side 100%.
But once again, talking about the medias, you not discussing about the situation was letting the medias say whatever they wanted about it, right?
Yeah.
Was it like planned?
Because my lawyers back then, they told me
it was
you don't
beyond.
have to.
But this is so bad, man. Like you don't have you don't have like your freedom to express yourself.
I know. I didn't have the opportunity to say anything back then. It's sad because, as I said, I felt like I let everybody down, but also like that's not who I am. I told you, like I wanted to call my coach, to call my teammates, guys, listen, this happened, or explain them a little bit something, but it was not possible.
They forbid you to call your coach and your team.
No, first of all, the rules are very strict then, and you cannot.
This is crazy.
Yeah, you cannot communicate with anybody from the team or step a foot in the team's facility. You cannot do anything.
But it's interesting because then the initial sanction was 2.5 years, but then they cut it by 2 after your successful appeal.
No, 16 months.
16 months, yes. For me, this is a sign that they recognize that you are the victim in this story, right?
Yes. The first it was two things happened. The first was like an online thing, and then I went to Geneva.
Yeah.
For the CAS thing, yeah. So the first one was the FIBA meeting and everything. I came down in Athens with my lawyers and everything, and the first punishment was 32 months. Crazy. When I
32 is
was
so long. man.
What's your initial
32.
reaction when you realize that you cannot play the sport you absolutely love for such a long time?
There are no words.
Coming back on a more positive note, once
Yeah.
again, Panathinaikos welcomed you back home.
Yes.
How did you feel when you had the opportunity to go back home and start play again without any more controversy and just focus on winning?
It chose me when I was young, and also they chose me in the most difficult time of my life. And after the 16th month came, they reached out my agent. We started negotiating, and after 3 days we signed.
You arguably had, I think, one of the biggest roller coaster in this last 3-4 years
Yes.
of your career.
Yes, huge.
Oh my God.
Do you think that this shaped the player you are today?
Yes. I think life told me, listen, no matter how high you are, how low you are, everything change in an instant, exactly like this, the point of my fingers. So you never have to give up. You just have to be focused on your goal and be true steady in one situation. Whenever you wake up, be grateful and be to your target. Never get too excited. Never get too never not get too upset for anything. Just be focused on your goal. That's what I learned.
If you could say one thing to the Dinos of this period, what would you say?
Good question.
That there is light in the end of the tunnel, and
Amazing.
don't worry. Trust the process. It will happen. Your moment will come.
You seem to be this player, that has everything under control, on the court. Was it always like this, or you were, struggling with handling your emotions before?
Oh, I don't think there is a staple emotion person in the world. I think you cannot control a lot of behaviors or a lot of how you're going to play. You can determine and you can control. I'm talking about right now on the court.
Yeah.
You can control certain stuff. What can you do? I try to control those things. I cannot control, for example, how one of my teammates will react in one situation or my opponent, what he will do. For me, that's where experience comes, and I can read situations. But, I'm trying to be very focused and calm in every situation, if you ask me this. Yeah.
I would like to come back a bit on your time in the US.
Yes.
What was for you the one thing, or let's say the biggest challenge coming from Thessaloniki to North
Yes.
Carolina?
Oh, man, I have so many stories to say. So many stories.
Give us the one story.
I have two stories. I have two good
Give us
stories.
two stories.
So listen, also for a foreigner to go to the States in this 18 years old, once, for example, us as English as second language is, and you go in America where everybody's speaking English, they're speaking English, So I go first day in school, I have no idea where to go. They guide me, you go there and everything. So listen, the 4 classes I have in my first semester. Are you ready? I barely can speak English right now. Economics. Okay. Writing. There's no words, person in
This is so
writing.
hard also,
Even in
man.
Greek. I'm terrible in writing. English writing. African dance.
No way.
The worst dancer ever here.
No way.
Yes.
No way,
African
man.
dance.
What?
And,
Why?
Huh?
Why African dance?
I don't know.
You chose
They
it?
put me in this
No,
class.
you chose
and then
it.
I had
They
be
put-
able to choose, but my student advisor back then chose. And look, and then I have computer science. Computer science.
Imagine going from African dance to computer science.
No. Imagine being in a school where you realize they speak English and you have these classes. Let's start with this. So my first class was computer science, and the professor was Korean. Okay, and I don't know. I realized first day in school, they speak English good, and the Korean speaks, open the syllabus. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I have the laptop, I barely have the laptop, I don't know how to use the syllabus and everything. I said, I do this to my, sorry, what is syllabus? You open this, you go there. I said, okay. And then he starts speaking, I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I don't know, yeah. It was fun, but I think it's very difficult for a European kid to adjust in the States and to be in college, and especially when I went to college, you didn't have all this privilege that these European kids have right now with all these laws and NCAA.
NIL.
That they can get paid, they can get endorsements. We were broke. We're like, in my account, I have €0.
You think they have too much rights now? Or let's say too much?
I don't think they have too much. I disagree, but I think they can earn way more than I had. For example, you can go in college right now and get 100,000. We never had that. I just had a scholarship, which I was very grateful for, and you can get endorsements. For example, I have many Greek American friends. They can get me an endorsement if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Because in America there are many Greek people. So yeah, it's not what it looks like. You have to work very hard. You have to earn respect there, and it's not like what you watch in movies and everything. America is not like this. For sure, Wake Forest, when I went to North Carolina, was a huge lesson in school for me. I learned a lot. My mind opened. I saw a lot of cultures. I saw a lot of habits. I saw another world, and I'm very happy for it. And I'm forever grateful. Yeah.
You played with John Collins, right?
I did. Yeah. Jason.
You played the same position too, also, right?
No. I was playing 4. He was playing 5.
He was
We
playing
played
5?
together.
He was playing
together.
5. Okay.
Yeah, he was playing 5.
How was he playing with him? Did you see he would be like this great in NBA?
Yes.
Really?
What separated him?
Man, first of all, crazy great hands and one of the most athletic guys I've ever seen. You know, when before we start the game, before we start the official games in the warm-ups, I was throwing the ball and he was, his head was touching the rim.
He's so athletic, man.
So athletic.
So
No. If you don't see him in person, like you don't understand. It's crazy athletic.
You
He's
also
crazy.
had Cody McIntyre.
Yes, Cody.
Did
Right
you
now,
thought
yes.
about him that he would be this EuroLeague player he is
No.
today?
I knew he was gonna be. You got me the question. Sorry. I knew he was gonna be a EuroLeague player. I knew he wouldn't be an NBA player
Why you say this?
because he always back then he wanted to be an NBA player, and I knew he wasn't. I knew he was gonna be an NBA player, EuroLeague player.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
You could
why
tell.
why did you think that? Like, what led you to think
Because
this?
he's like his type of player, what he is, he needs to be like, my opinion, good in very good things to be in the NBA. Cody was very good things for EuroLeague. If you know EuroLeague, you know. Like I could tell Cody was gonna be a great EuroLeague player.
Because some people, that watch, they're gonna think that if you say this, people are gonna think it's a bad thing to say, but it's actually really not, right? To say that
And
he's a EuroLeague player.
It doesn't mean it's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. But I think he asked me like a lot of times. Actually, I have another story. Are you ready for it? Today is
go.
all the story time.
Let's go, man.
He was in Partizan. I was in PANA last year of me in PANA, 2021, before I go to Milan. 2020-21. And my GM calls me and he says, Dinos, I need a favor from you. I said, yes, what is it? He said, we want Cody, Miller McIntyre. I said, okay, what's your opinion about him? He's great. What do you mean? Get him over in PANA. He's a great player.
But GM asked you to get him
Yeah,
recruited?
he said,
Okay.
can you call him and convince him to come here?
Okay,
in Panathinaikos? Yes.
That's how they do it.
Yeah. I said, yeah, of course. I will call him. I said, hey, Cody, it's Dinos. Give me a call. He calls me and said, what's up, Dinos? How are you? Everything. We start talking. Yeah. And he said that he wanted to wait a little bit to make his jump in the EuroLeague. I don't remember where he played. But he didn't come to PANA. He went another team. And we actually talked after the game for Baskonia, when he went last year in Baskonia.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, I'm waiting for you now. Are you going to come to PANA? And he never came. He keeps not coming, man. He's in Red Star right now. I mean,
But
he's
you think
killing,
that-
though.
you
He's killing
think-
in Red Star. He's very good. right?
He's absolutely killing it. But do
And
you
now
think that
he improved his spot up? Man, he's very good.
last year his season was crazy?
He had the first 2020 game, right?
He hit the game winner on me. I'm going to kill him.
Opa.
Don't remember me this. It's crazy. Remember that one game, I wanted to kill him that day. I'm like, why you score this on me?
But he was going again, like recently you played against him, Red Star.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
before
a few
he
days
tweaked his
ago, yeah.
ankle, he was going also for the 30, 40 points.
Every time. I told you that I told him in halftime, hey, stop shooting.
You think he wants to beat you? Like
you made 5 threes enough. I told him Nedo the same thing. Nedo, enough. You made like so many shots.
Do you think that he was always this good player, or that like he evolved to become this player he is today, or he just didn't have his opportunity?
He was
before?
always good. You can tell if you know basketball if someone is a good player or not, for sure. But I think he has worked a lot the stuff. Like he couldn't shoot that well, to be honest with you, and he knows it too. He couldn't shoot that well in college, but now like he can hit threes. He can hit pull-ups. He improved his free throws. No, he's good. He's good. You can tell like this is a result of hard work.
To finish on Wake Forest, we talked about Collins, we talked about Cody. What's about you? Was your dream the NBA?
Of course. I don't know what they do in college, man. They manipulate somehow everybody and every kid in America like to play in the NBA. I mean, it's a huge dream, to be honest with you. It was a huge dream. But it never happened. It never came. So I have learned in my life to be grateful for whatever I have. I tried to be there. Obviously, I couldn't. It's okay. I'm happy with myself. Whenever I make family, I will say to my kids, listen, hey, I tried my best. I didn't play. But I'm happy for what I'm doing here and what I'm achieving so far.
I mean, you can tell them Dad is EuroLeague champ, so
yeah, but your dad, you win a EuroLeague. Yeah,
absolutely.
Can you imagine?
I want to talk a little bit about the Greek national team.
Yes.
So after the suspension, you still managed to make the roster on the 2023 World Cup.
Yeah.
But then, like after in the Olympics, really got this much bigger role. Despite the team struggle, you really showed that, okay, you're back at the level where you belong. First, like, what does it mean to play for the Greek national team for you?
I mean, it's, if a player like that plays in high level competition, and of course, I think there's no bigger satisfaction and honor to play for the national team because they represent the country. It means a lot. Of course, what I like is whenever I play with the national team, it doesn't matter like your personal teams, it's national team. So whenever you play with the national team, the whole people is as one. That's what I like. And I'm very happy because we have very big basketball history in Greece, so we have a very, very big crowd too.
Is it bigger than for yourself, bigger than playing than for PANA?
That's a good one.
That's a great one. Wow.
I like that. I like that. Struggling.
Okay, what should I choose?
Oh, she will say Panathinaikos.
I mean, you can
say Panathinaikos.
100%.
We can agree that both look good, so
yeah. But okay, what will make you more happy? Winning a back-to-back EuroLeague with Panathinaikos or winning the EuroBasket with Greece?
Yes.
Those are the questions where whatever you choose, you're wrong.
Or whatever you choose, you're right.
Like you try to set me up right here.
No.
We never tried
No,
this.
hell
Never
no.
tried this.
Listen, I'm gonna be diplomatic here.
Let's hear it.
Because I have a EuroLeague already. I will say EuroBasket.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have this, I think, very big roster in Greece and a lot of great players. What do you think is missing for this team right now to make this final step, play a final, or also even win a title?
Another issue here that we haven't won since 2005, 4? I don't remember. Many years. It's been many years since we haven't won anything. And every time I give an interview during the summer and I represent the national team, it's like, national team hasn't won anything. I'm like, I know more than you. I play. But it's a little unfair to the people because we have such talent and so depth and good players, and we cannot use it well. And it's the most sad thing is like we had great coaches do this. Pitino came and all those coaches before, and I think We just need one more step, like to achieve something good, and we never don't get it. I don't understand why, but I think the last 2-3 years we have specific we have done specific steps up forward, and I think we can do it something good.
You think Coach Spanoulis can be this extra step?
I think yes, I think because he has very experienced. He's a very determined person, and he knows what to do. But I think besides this, we all need to leave alone. It's national team is a totally different thing than club teams. Panathinaikos and all other teams that you were in Monaco, totally different. For example, Coach Spanoulis is the Monaco. I'm a Panathinaikos player. We need to leave aside me, Panathinaikos. You have to leave Monaco. We start, to work as a team right now for 1 month and achieve a medal, which is very difficult, trust me. But I think Coach has this experience. He used to be a player too, so he understands how a player is thinking, and I think we can do it, yeah.
So we always finish the podcast with one question.
Yeah.
Once you leave this earth, what do you want to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered as a player that has left a legacy, a good legacy. I mean, with trophies, with good, and a personality that I left a personality, that I was a good person, that I was not greedy. I loved what I did for everybody that I do, and to someone to say something good about me. That's my goal.
I have one more.
Tell me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you one of the players that went through a lot of stuff. If you could give an advice to someone that starts his career or like a young player to become a player of your caliber, what would you like to tell him?
I think individually he needs to be very balanced, not to be too overhyped, not too sad, and for his club to be somewhere where he is appreciated, where he feels good, and when he finds himself in a group that has good chemistry and he has big goals, I think those two can bring you to be a champion, as I am. Like I was last year with Panathinaikos, it was incredible. And what I lived with the team and everybody.
Dinos Mitoglou, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Great honor.
Thank